It's real. I don't think I've ever seen the rap scene so incredibly active at such an early point of the year. I don't think ever. So of course we have ASAP Rocky that's dropping Don't Be Dumb. Right now as I'm recording this, it's Wednesday. It's Thursday at midnight. I'm gonna be doing a live reaction stream if I can. We'll try to figure it out. If it's not tomorrow, then it's some point this weekend. But now we have J.Cole that is dropping the Fall Off, which I thought was going to be dropping more like next year. I didn't really have it slated on my 2026 bingo card, but here we are. It's February 2nd of 2026 that we're going to get the Fall Off. We have an album announcement trailer and we already have a single. And the way that this album is going, it is playing very much into that fall off thing that we kind of had the introduction of on KOD all the way back. I think it was like 2016. And it is talking about the cycle of a person's rise or a celebrity's rise and fall, and how when one person falls, someone has to take that place of being the rise when it comes to kind of the trajectory of your career, the trajectory of your success, the trajectory of your artistry. And I think it's a very interesting time to release a project like this, because I feel like we're in a state in the rap scene where I don't really know if we have that one rapper or a collection of rappers that are going to be taking the mantle. When you have your J. Cole's, when you have your Drake's, when you have your Kendrick's, I don't know if we're going to have someone that's going to usher in the next generation at this current time. So the project releasing around in 2026, where we're kind of in this gray area of we don't really know what's going to happen with the genre, I think is going to be a really interesting concept to dive into. And the track itself, Disc 2, Track 2, is just an incredible display of how J. Cole has really mastered storytelling and also mastered concepts. The way that he's able to take the lyrical concept of wrapping the basically your life story in a backwards format, making it sound cohesive, making it sound full, and making it sound so incredibly engaging and so in depth and so much in detail, is something that only a truly seasoned and legendary rapper can do. And I think J. Cole, ever since obviously 2014 Forest Hills Drive, has mastered his pen, has mastered his storytelling, has mastered the craft so well that this is maybe one of his best albums, period. It could be his best album, period. Now, with 2 discs, I find that interesting, because if I remember correctly off the off season, there was a track Amari that was on the off season. I love that track so much, but it talks about how rappers are using double discs to sell albums, to get streams. So I'm going to be very interested of how J. Cole is going to tackle a double discs. Obviously, the single is called Disc 2 Track 2, so it has to be some kind of double album concept. And I know there was the thing that Might Delete Later, which we will talk about in a second, was the It's a Boy album, where It's a Boy was supposed to be the precursor to the Fall Off. I wonder if Disc 1 is actually going to be It's a Boy and Disc 2 is going to be the Fall Off. Who knows? That's just a possible speculation. But going back to Might Delete Later, this is a very special case where I don't think these numbers really matter, which is a little bit of a different territory than what I've seen from other rappers from previous projects. So Might Delete Later was not received very well. I still think the album had some genuinely good moments, like Trade the Truth and Ibiza, and you had the track also with Ab Soul. I think Hunting Rabbits is great. But it really was a hodgepodge mix of an album. It also was an album of the moment, and it was kind of putting itself in the hat of the current beef that was happening at the current time with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. And obviously there was 7 Minute Drill, which threw some shots at Kendrick. They were very light shots, if I'm going to be honest, especially when you take the contrast and everything that happened encapsulating that beef and how brutal it got. But J. Cole apologized, took the track down, And I think in the grand scheme of things, that really doesn't matter to me at all. That stuff that happened now about 2 years ago really does not hinder or dampen my excitement for this project. This is just a little sidetrack that, if you like songs on it, great, but I don't think it's an album that is really going to shape J. Cole's career. It's just a side note. The Fall Off, I think, is J. Cole's best step forward. As I was reading, I think that he said this album was 10 years of the making. There's a lot of craft to this. There's also possibly this is the album that's going to end off J. Cole's career. There's a lot riding on this project. There's a lot riding on this very moment. And it's going to be so incredibly interesting to see where this album goes, especially with that fall off concept. And I really truly hope, and I have the utmost confidence that J. Cole is going to deliver one of his best projects, one of his most introspective projects, possibly one of his most varied projects as well. Because he's been able to master the melodic stuff, especially over this decade. Some attempts haven't worked as well, as we remember off my delete later. But I go back to the off-season quite a bit. And I think, honestly, the off-season is one of the most underrated J. Cole projects. It's actually probably becoming my second favorite, if not my first favorite J. Cole project, because it was a perfect mix of diversity, variety, but it also gave J. Cole moments to absolutely shine lyrically, like songs like The Climb Back and songs like Interlude and songs like Let Go of My Hand. If we get that level of lyricism and that level of storytelling on the Fall Off, we are in for something truly and incredibly special. I am so unbelievably excited. And it's the kind of thing that this giddiness that I've had for a rap project, I haven't had this in a while. Sure, you had the stuff with like Kendrick with GNX, and that was very of the moment, and that was very just sporadic. But this has been an album that has been talked about for such a long time. And in that span of time, from KOD to 2016 all the way to now, J. Cole has dropped some of his best work, has diversified his sound, and has mastered his craft. And I cannot wait to hear the final result of this project. Let me know what your thoughts are. The fall off is real. The fall off is coming. I honestly am at a loss for words. I can't believe it. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.